Hello and welcome to Spotlight, a series by Capria where we catch up with all of our founders and find out what's latest with them. Today I have Vicky Dodani, the co-founder and CEO of Agrizy. Welcome, Vicky.
Hi Sandhya, thanks for having me here.
Vicky, you say that Agrizy is India's fastest growing agri-processing B2B platform,
Yeah.
right? When you started with your co-founders, really, how did you start? And tell us a little bit more of the backstory.
So Saket is my co-founder. So we come from this agri and food processing family background, right? And then we worked with some of the B2B startups together, right? And that's where we realized that although we came from very different geographies, the commodities that we had experience with were also very different. But the problem statement of MSME food processors were more or less the same, and that's why we thought it's a great opportunity for us to build something together, and that's why we started Agrizy almost 3 years back, and we continue to bridge this gap between MSME food processors and large buyers.
Lovely. So maybe we can talk really, since you spoke about the problem that you set out to solve. Perhaps double click on that and talk about really more specifically the pain point of agri processing supply chain
Sure.
overall and
Sure.
specific to India. How are you thinking about overcoming these challenges or navigating these challenges?
What we are essentially trying to do is solve for three major challenges that these processing facilities are facing. One is the availability of demand. So most of them struggle to find demand, right? Either in domestic markets or international markets. The second problem is that even if they get demand, most of these large buyers, they would want to work with processors who have certified plants. I mean, depending on the country, it could be ISO, GMP, BRC, whatever, right? Different varieties or different kinds of certificates which are needed to fulfill orders for a specific country. Or, for our own country, food safety license and ISO are very much important, right? So that is the second problem, and the overall third problem is the availability of working capital, right? So these, because it's an unorganized industry, these processors face massive problem in terms of working capital. So all these three problems put together result in gross underutilization of capacities which are already installed. So these are the exact same problems that we are trying to solve, right? And we are actually connecting these processors to demand or buyers across the world. We work with some of the largest buyers in both domestic and international markets. We are also helping these processors with technology intervention, with consultation to upgrade their facilities from, let's say, the way they are to a, let's say, an ISO or a GMP certified facility, right? And we also come up with a fintech platform which is basically helping these processors with working capital. So with these three, these solutions that we have catered towards these processors, we are seeing the improvement in the capacity utilization of the processors we work with. It varies between 5%, goes as high as 50%. So some of the processors we've taken from 50 to for 90-95% capacity utilization.
And that's a nice way for me to segue into my next question. With this new capital infusion, what are the milestones you're looking to hit this year?
So the very first thing was business expansion, and more specifically in international markets. That was the first thing where we wanted to invest. The second one is in terms of processing capabilities. By that, what I mean is, some R&D capabilities. We would want to customize products for our buyers, which is where the current supply chain is not flexible enough, right? So once we start doing this, we start working with the new product development or the NPD team of the buyers, the R&D team of our buyers. We become more irreplaceable, right? To, in terms of your answering your question, where we would want to be, so we have set some of the targets for us, for the next 2 years or so. So in terms of growing our business by almost 6x, where we are margins to be 1.5x, and increasing the overall proportion of exports and more value added processing in our overall portfolio of products that we are doing.
Thanks, Vicky, and I love your clarity. Can I push that a little bit and ask you about what a 5 year vision would be like?
So 5 years down the line, of course, just being the top players in these specific products, anywhere across the world, anyone thinks about those products, Agrizy should be the first name that they should think about, right? And yeah, I think in terms of revenue, of course, in terms of margins, EBITDA, all of that, we have our own targets. But I think this is more important, and all of these numbers are gearing towards achieving this, the top three players in that specific supply chain.
Fantastic, Vicky. And you say top three. I'm going to wish number one for you. And also, by that, it will also be transformative for the country. Perhaps move that 10% number to at least 25% or 30%. So, more power to you. And thank you for chatting with me.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sandhya. This was very insightful to have that kind of discussion with you.